We good? Welcome into Hail Varsity Postgame Show live from the Railyard in Lincoln. I'm Ravi Lulla. That's Austin Jacobsen coming live from a 59-7 win over Houston Christian, a very bad football team.
It's a not 68-0, but it's safe to say Houston Christian and Millard South would have a very competitive matchup.
Houston Christian and Sister Christian might have a very competitive matchup.
Night Ranger, baby.
Although Night Ranger is a banger, Sister Christian might have the edge in that one.
That is true.
Let me just say, I predicted a 56-3 score. My margin was 1 point off.
You're not bad.
1 point off. I just want to put that out there, put that out in the world. I'm going to count that as a W for your boy.
I respect that.
Nebraska covered the spread, which is always important for some people. And we're here. Nebraska's 3-0, heading into Michigan. That's all we wanted. That's all we needed.
That is what we needed.
And, Austin, do we have a quarterback controversy on our hands?
We should. TJ Lateef may be the second coming of Dylan Raiola. He's the best quarterback we've seen since young Dylan took the scene here in Lincoln. And there's no better quarterback that you would want to see on the field late in the game, especially when the game's on the line, when you're up by 40 points, than TJ Lateef. That's who you want. That's who you want out there.
I love seeing TJ Lateef on the field when we're up by 45 points. That's 100% accurate. Great game all around for Nebraska. 59-7 once again. I'm going to be honest, I don't have like a lot of hot takes.
Other than it is hot.
Yeah,
we had to move the shade, thankfully, over this way.
It's warm out here. Our computers are melting. Our pets' heads are falling off. It's rough out here for your boys, but we're happy to be here at the Railyard. Come down and see us. Come down and say hi. You're more than welcome to buy us a drink. It's hot as all get out here. Come down, buy us a drink. Come say hi to Austin and Rico and me. I'm Ravi here at the Railyard.
All right, so let's start from the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
Than that, our offense performed up to snuff more often than not, right? I mean, they were there in the first half. They were competitive in every aspect in which they wanted to control the game. And again, it's like we talked about with the Akron game. This is exactly what you want to do if you are a program that Nebraska wants to get to the level in which they are aspiring to get to. This is the type of game and the way you control it, especially with your starters.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what you're supposed to do to Houston Christian, and they did it. It's what you were supposed to do against Akron, and they did it. Now we have to see if they can go out and beat Michigan. Nebraska has checked all the boxes up to this point. They got their defensive touchdown. Mosey almost took one back on a punt return late. This is exactly what Nebraska was supposed to look like today. I said, hey, I don't know if it's going to be 68-0, but it is going to look exactly like it's supposed to. I really have. I mean, I don't think when did Houston Christian get their first down not off a penalty?
End second quarter, right?
Somewhere in there. Full half, right?
Yeah.
They had the one pass interference on Donovan Jones, which immediately preceded the defensive touchdown.
Yes.
So if you're keeping score at home, the two pass interferences that were sort of the most frustrating probably at this point in the year immediately were turned around by an interception by Malcolm Hartzog and a scoop and score by Williams Winery, who I just have to say, one of the most underratedly athletic plays, because I don't know if people understand. Go outside in your backyard right now. I'm serious. Go outside in your backyard, put something on the ground.
Yeah.
Run full speed at it, try and pick it up in stride and continue running full speed.
Oh, 100%.
It's actually very difficult.
Yeah.
And
not for an athlete like me, but for sure. For the common man, yes.
For the commoners, not like Austin Jacobsen here, the Sydney's finest. For the common man, running at full speed, picking something up in stride and continue running full speed is actually really hard to do. It's even harder when you're 6'7" and 270 pounds and people are chasing you. That was an unbelievably athletic move by Williams Winery. And in the stadium, it was clear immediately no one was catching him. He took 2 steps after he picked the ball up, and I was like, oh, he's gone. That man's is gone.
And not only that, too, and I know I was a bit tongue-in-cheek with it on the old Twitter Bird app, but I will say this. That's big play coaching technique because it's not – I know that this was Houston Christian. Again, all credit, as we did in our last game, asterisks because it was Houston Christian. But when it comes to a big game or a conference game, if Williams Winery decides that, hey, instead of falling on the ball, I'm going to pick it up and score a touchdown, that is the difference maker in so many games that we have seen for Nebraska over the past decade of football, right? And yes, it's Houston Christian, but the playmaking ability to understand that, hey, I have a chance to make a game-breaking play. What was the biggest reaction from the Cincinnati game in terms of Nebraska mistakes, right? Oh, well, Nebraska got lucky. They recovered their own fumbles. Cincinnati didn't recover those fumbles, correct?
You have to make a play.
They had a chance for not only a pick six and a scoop and score, Cincinnati did, but they didn't make those plays. Williams-Nwaneri did, and because he did it here, you know that he can do it later. And that's the biggest difference maker for me in my eyes from what we saw today.
Also, shout out to Riley Van Poppel for the strip sack on that one.
Yeah.
Love to see that out of Riley Van Poppel. Been waiting.
Not a start for RVP, though. Were you surprised?
No, I mean, so they've been kind of trying to bring him along. They need him to be a little bit more consistent. I thought he popped better against Akron than he did against Cincinnati, but they need him to play at that level consistently. I thought he's done a much better job of that in the last 2 weeks. And again, on that defensive line, on the defense in general, starting, not starting doesn't mean that much to me. Like if you look at the snap counts, if you look at who's playing, the rotations, it doesn't mean that much to me. You'll learn who's important next week against Michigan and who's playing, who's going to be playing when it's on the line.
Yes,
right? Like that's what we'll learn. I don't care. Like people get caught up on starting a lot, you know, when you're coaching basketball or whatever. It's like, hey, this guy's going to start, but you're going to play 28 minutes. And they're like, yeah, but I'm not a starter. It's like, you're playing the important minutes. Shut up. Like, it's the same thing in football. It's like, I don't care if you're starting. I don't care if you have a black shirt. Like, you should want to be competitive. You should want the black shirt. You should want to start. At the end of the day, who's playing when it matters? That's what I care about, right? I think Riley Van Poppel's going to be a guy that's playing when it matters. I think Williams-Nwaneri is going to be a guy that's playing when it matters. And those guys made plays today. I thought it was a great strip sack by RVP. I thought it was an unbelievably athletic play by Williams-Nwaneri. And I thought it was a great performance by Nebraska overall. Like, that was a team where you look at it and you go, okay, didn't give up a point for 6.5 consecutive quarters, right? Didn't give up a first down for almost the entire first half, not gotten by a penalty, right? So this is a defense that is locked in. They gave up the one long touchdown run, which they had bottled up. Jalen George had him in the backfield. Should have been a tackle for loss. You got to make that play, right? And there are consequences when you don't make the play. And we saw that, right? It was a great one run by Jyshawn Edwards. We talked to Michael Rose-Ivy on the morning show this week. That's a guy that probably ends up at a Power 4 school next year. He was recruited at a high level, and then things sort of got weird in his recruitment, and he only had one offer left at the end of the day. Like, that's a guy that's probably playing at a different level next year. But you got to make a play if you're Nebraska. You didn't. It cost you your second straight shutout. It did not cost you, however, Archie Wilson not getting in the game for a second straight time.
Well, and it is also that dual-edged sword that we were talking about with big plays, right? You look at one version of it, and George not making a tackle for loss, yes, that's one that you want to have back.
Absolutely.
But the visualization of making a play like RVP, Williams-Nwaneri, and I'll get to Dylan Raiola in a minute, but the ability, regardless of opponent, when you do it inside the stadium, filled with 85,000 fans, and you do it on a Saturday in which the game's going to count, right? This counts as a win for Nebraska.
Yes, this is not an exhibition.
Interesting. We didn't play this in April, right? So this game matters. Everything was parlayed as a regular college football Saturday for Nebraska football. Not only did they make the plays, but now they have known what the feeling is when the play is made itself. They know how to react. They've seen it happen. This only breeds more success. This has been one of the biggest points of emphasis that I've had personally as a Husker fan over the past 8 years, and especially the past 3 years of Matt Rule, is yes, Nebraska was getting better. I could see that. I could feel the energy of the program turning in the right direction and turning everything the right way. But could Nebraska make the plays because they knew they could make the plays because they've done the plays before? Nebraska in non-conference games against FCS or lower, whatever tier opponent, sometimes didn't make these type of opportunities. They have for 2 straight weeks. And now I feel more comfortable than ever to feel this much more confident going into a Michigan Big Ten opener that Nebraska has the visualization and the positive mindset to be able to know that they can make plays when the opponent gets to the biggest spotlight, right?
Yeah, I think that we underrate as fans what it's like to make a play in an actual game.
Yes.
Right? We heard Dana Holgerson talk about this a couple weeks ago or last week. I don't know, I lose track, right? But we've heard him talk about where he goes, hey, you can only get so much better in practice. Like that's a real thing. You can only get so much better in practice. And listen, you can only get so much better against Akron and Houston Christian, but that's the next step.
Yep.
You get as good as you can in practice. You get as good as you can against Akron and Houston Christian, and then you get as good as you can against Michigan, and then you get as good as you can against USC, and then you get as good as you can against Penn State. Like that's the progression of how this works. They can only be as good as they can against the team in front of them right now, right? That's it. And they've done that in consecutive weeks now in a way that I think is very impressive, and that I think they've done a remarkable job of getting not just the starters in positions where they can gain confidence and make plays, but also these guys that we like a lot, right? We look around and we're like, oh, man, I really like this guy. I think he's really talented, and we just haven't had a chance to see it yet. The last 2 weeks, we've had a chance to see a lot of it. I was like, hey, I kind of like TJ Lateef. Guess what? I really like TJ Lateef as the backup quarterback.
Yes.
I look at it and go, hey.
Good characterization.
I have more confidence now in our backup quarterback than I have been since Joe Gans. Like, I don't know. Like, it's been a minute, right?
I was a Cody Green guy, but to each their own.
I was a big Breon Carnes guy.
All right. Now it's just dudes naming old quarterbacks.
Big Ron Kellogg guy.
God, we're only like 12 minutes into the show, and we're already like that far.
Just dudes naming guys.
Dudes naming guys.
So, like, it's been a long time since you feel that good about your backup quarterback. But, like, look at a guy like Isaiah Mosey.
Yep.
I'm like, man, I really like Isaiah Mosey. We see Isaiah Mosey make plays 2 weeks in a row. We saw Cortez Mills make plays a couple weeks in a row. Like, we're seeing these guys make plays. It is a big deal, if you haven't done it before, to make plays in front of 90,000 people. That's a real thing.
Yep.
Like, it's weird just to walk out in front of 90,000 people, right? Much less actually try and perform an athletic feat. It is a big win for Nebraska to get these guys in positions where they know they can do it in front of a crowd. That matters. Nebraska's checked that off the box a couple weeks in a row now. It's all you can ask for them to have done heading into Michigan.
Can I also say, too,
let's do it.
This is a very weird statement to put, and I don't know how to phrase it. I was trying to phrase it when I was at the middle of a tailgate, which is very difficult to do. But help me out here. I mean, you were there in the stadium. Was this potentially the most accurate I've ever seen Dylan Raiola throw a football? There were some throws that, again, like the level of competition is not up to where you need to put the ball in the money and it's going to be tight windows and pockets. But his ability to, one, protect his receivers and make sure that they were making completed catches and had the ability to make a catch, but kept them safe and out of harm's way. And then on the opposite side, that play action to Dane Key over the middle, that post route, you see a lot of quarterbacks loft that pass or throw it with a lot of air so their receiver can run underneath it. Dane might have been caught. He put it on a rope over the top of two levels of defenders, and I haven't seen a throw like that in some time from young Dylan. That I'm very impressed with the ability that he's had in this circumstance to be able to throw in different scenarios and complete passes. 71% completion percentage today, 15 of 21, 222 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, including the throw to Key and another to Cortez Mills, or Ja'Cory Barney Jr. So,
and by the way, those are first half stats.
Yes.
He did not play in the second half.
Yes.
Those are first half stats.
Yeah.
So, first of all, 71% is actually low for him.
Yeah. I mean, how dare he?
But I know people are going to say, hey, what about
Lateef did go 100% 5 for 5. So
Lateef looked great. But I do want to, I want to address, I saw some people say, hey, that first ball to Key, the deep ball, held up a little bit. I don't know what it looked like on TV.
Yeah.
I was in the stadium. The flags on that side of the stadium, not the ones on the goalpost, but the ones at the top of the stadium, were blowing straight in. That ball got absolutely murdered by the wind. Murdered, like murked by the wind.
Yes.
Like that ball was going to be a touchdown in stride, and it was murdered by the wind. Now, Dylan threw it in a place where Dane could go under and get it, but that, listen, you don't have to believe me, but that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like the announcer said it live on the broadcast, somebody told me, because they asked me, like, hey, is the wind that bad? And I was like, no, not really. And then I looked up at the flag, and I was like, oh, gosh, yeah, it is. Right? Because where I was sitting versus what the flag looked like in the actual air, totally different situation. So, I had some people come at me for that already. Listen, Dylan looked really good, as he has the first 3 games. He looked super efficient. Listen, I've seen everything I want to see out of Dylan through 3 games. Now, it's got to happen happen next week. It's got to happen in 7 days against Michigan. But, again, he's done what he's needed to do in the first 3 games in order to feel confident that that's on the table, that he can perform against Michigan.
Yep, and on top of that, too, offensive line back-to-back days of uber confidence, of great blocking ability. Wasn't overtly impressed with our run game, but yet they didn't do anything to disappoint me. I'm not concerned by it by any means. Would I have loved to see more 60-yard touchdown runs? Yeah, it would have been great. But, I mean, the amount of opportunities that the team had to score and be able to put points on the board and have, cumulative drives that led to success, I'm happy with. I'm never going to complain about that.
I also, one of our guests brought it up on the morning show this week. Hurrdat Sports Live. Make sure you check it out every weekday, 7 to 10 a.m. But one of our guests said on the morning show this week that this coaching staff has a relationship with the coaching staff at Houston Christian. Jason Bechtel is a guy. They've hosted a camp down there in Texas. I believe it was 2 off seasons ago. They offered a bunch of guys out of that camp, a bunch of young guys out of Texas. Like, they have a relationship with this coaching staff. And I think there was a conscious effort not to overtly embarrass them.
Yeah.
Because if you're watching that game, you can look at it and be like, Nebraska could have picked a number.
Yes.
They 100% could have picked a number. I think they were overly vanilla for a couple reasons. One, I don't think they wanted to embarrass Houston Christian. And 2, I think they're saving some things for Michigan.
As they should.
I think they're saving a bunch of run game wrinkles for Michigan. I think they're saving a lot of pass game wrinkles for Michigan. I think we have seen just a dusting of what the playbook actually is.
Yep.
And I think we're going to see it in full force for the Michigan game next week. If you're wondering what all that noise is in the background, we're here live at the Railyard down in Lincoln following Nebraska's 59-7 win over Houston Christian.
But, Ravi, why are we in the Railyard?
We're in the Railyard for one reason and one reason only.
And his name is Kenny Bell.
That is our friend, our colleague, our coworker, our work bestie.
Well, for one of us.
I know. I know you guys are jealous. It's fine.
Not David Day. Oh, that's embarrassing. You're going to drop his hat on the day of his induction?
I didn't drop it on the ground. This is Kenny Bell's Hall of Fame induction day, amongst many others. Brett Maher, the late Deron Diedrich was a great back here at Nebraska as well. He was represented by his family on the field. He was inducted as well as several other players. But our friend Kenny Bell was inducted into the Nebraska Hall of Fame. And so we were down here, A, supporting Kenny, B, we put together a great line of merch to honor Kenny. A bunch of the proceeds from that go to Team Jack Foundation. You probably saw the Will Compton tweet. We sent Will a box of merch as well. We're both wearing By 80. That's part of the brand as well. Skurs By 80, baby. Almost.
Maybe next week.
They probably could have if they wanted to.
Maybe next week.
Let's hope so. But we're here to honor Kenny. We love Kenny. Congratulations. He's probably not listening, but maybe he will later. But that's why we're here. We're here to honor our guy Kenny. We wanted to make sure we were here for him. The Skurs hats flew off the shelves. They sold out almost immediately. The Fear the Fro hats, I think, ended up selling out as well.
The jackets were fire.
The jackets were incredible. If it wasn't 98 degrees today, those jackets would have sold out. I left mine in my car because I was like, it's too hot for this. I really wanted to wear it. I was bummed out. But you can also go find Hurrdat Brand Goods online. You can buy all this stuff online. Again, we're sending a bunch of money to Team Jack Foundation, a cause near and dear to Kenny's heart. He's been part of that. He was part of the original run. He's been on that board for years now. So go support Kenny. Go support Team Jack by buying some merch. But that's why we're here. That's our guy. We love Kenny. Love having Kenny as part of the Hurrdat team, and love being able to do something cool with that with our Hurrdat Brand Goods team to make Kenny some sweet gear. You also get a little Kenny signature on the side there. It's pretty sweet.
You can steal his identity if you'd so wish.
Probably not. I mean,
maybe.
Let's hope not. Don't do that.
Well, what do you mean?
Just don't do that.
What did I do?
Don't steal his identity. That's right.
Oh yeah, that would be mean. He's a Hall of Famer. Come on. Hall of Fame human being, Kenny Bell.
Don't do that to our guy Kenny. So,
all right. So
really appreciate him being down here and giving us so much of your time. If you were at the Railyard before the game, you got to hear him give a couple GBRs out there. A bunch of. Here's the thing. Like, this was the first time I've been with Kenny during a game day. So I went to the College World Series with him a couple months ago, and it was kind of stunning to me how popular this guy is.
Right.
And I knew that he was very well known, right? Yeah. But you don't really appreciate it till you're walking through crowds with him. It was one thing at the College World Series. My man could not get through a crowd. I had to be basically his handler today to be like, I'm sorry, guys, we got to get Kenny over to the stadium.
Yeah.
They're literally inducting him into the Hall of Fame. We got to go. Because he would never say no to anybody.
Yep.
He got into the stands after he got inducted, and like lines just started forming immediately. Now, shout out to Husker fans. Incredibly courteous and organized.
Yep.
Like they formed a queue.
They probably went in like alphabetical order. They were like, "Oh, hey, sorry, my date of birth's actually right in front of yours, so can I just move up?"
I'm surprised they didn't have like a number ticket system for him. It was incredible. But it was incredible to watch. Just the love people have for Kenny Bell in the state still, and appreciate him being a part of that and allowing us to be here today to help celebrate him. So that's why we're in the wonderful Railyard as we saw Clemson get upset by Georgia Tech a second ago.
Yeah, that was interesting.
55-yard field goal by Georgia Tech to walk that thing off.
Clemson was never in it in the first half either. I mean, they were just like struggling. I know you were in the game struggling with service and such.
I was, yeah. It was hard to get scores in there, but that's all right.
A score that's important to Husker fans, 63-3 final. Michigan dominates Central Michigan. 60-point victory. But again, that's what good teams do. Bryce Underwood carried the load that day. He had over 200 yards passing, over 100 yards rushing in the contest. So who knows? Maybe Bryce Underwood is going to be running with the legs when he comes to Lincoln next week. Which, I mean, by all means, you look at it, Ravi. I think we can put Houston Christian in the rearview mirror. We heard DB talk about it on the show this past week, too. But how quickly do you think that Michigan film has already come into Matt Rule's office?
If he's not watching it already, I'd be stunned.
Well, his press conference probably just wrapping up or doing somewhere of the sort. But I'll tell you what, the minute that man gets to sit down in his office today, I have a feeling it's going to be 7 straight days of locked on for Michigan the entire time.
I think he might take about a 90-minute break this evening to watch our guy Terrence Bud Crawford.
Probably.
That's about it.
Think he'll dual screen it?
Yeah, probably.
Put some Michigan, some Bud on the side?
He's definitely going to I would bet that he's got the dual screen up for our guy Bud Crawford and of course for Michigan film. That dude stays on it. He stays locked. You'll love to see it. We haven't heard his press conference yet, so we'll react to that on Monday when we rejoin the morning show. But it's a great day to be in the state of Nebraska. You've got Nebraska winning by 52.
Yep.
You got Bud Crawford about to give it to Canelo tonight.
Yep.
Like, here we go. It's great to be from Omaha. It's great to be from Nebraska. It's great to be from Lincoln, or Sydney.
Thank you.
It's great to be from Sydney. It's great to be from North Platte.
Bang.
That's our guy.
North Platte's finest.
It's great to be from Bellevue, like Rico over here. That's fine. Don't worry about it.
You're from Bellevue. Nah, he gets it. But yes, the sentiment is real. Very real.
It's great to be from the state of Nebraska here on a balmy Saturday.
I know.
And I think our tent might fly away.
Hold it down.
It's starting to lift off the ground a little bit.
Hold it down. That's all you now. Use that strong man, that forearm.
Don't worry, we got it.
I'll tell you what, I know we got to do a full post-game show or anything. That's the beauty of this digital stuff. We can go for however long or short that we need to. There's not much else to say but positives. If people want to be negative, and I already see a couple of the comments that, the defensive line, it's not up to snuff. I would like to see more, run fits from our backups. Those things can be corrected, right? But from what you've seen from the ones in the past 2 weeks, how could you not feel good going into a hopefully top 25 matchup in a week's time right here in pretty much a week from right now? We're going to be 19 minutes past kickoff next Saturday. So it's going to be a completely different atmosphere as well, because Houston Christian had to feel the force of 85,000. It's going to be a full 90 when Michigan arrives in here, and they're going to have a completely different fever pitch when they get onto the field that day. It's going to be a completely different Memorial Stadium.
Honestly, I was proud of the crew, everybody out here in Lincoln today. I've been to some of these games against your FCSs and your group of fives and stuff where, listen, I get it sold out. That's fine, but it's a little sparser than it is. People spend some time in the concourses. They take a little bit longer time trickling in from their tailgates and whatnot. Man, at kickoff, that thing was packed and ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
They were getting after it right away, and I was appreciative of that. I do think the Hall of Fame ceremony helped with that. I think people wanted to be in.
Oh, yeah.
But
through the fro, baby.
You got to. It was cool to see people's ovation for Kenny too.
Yeah.
That's just, as my wife would say, that's just a guy Ravi works with. But it was super cool to see that. But no, I mean, this is what it's supposed to be. And to the people that listen, I get you want every one of those guys. Coach Rule wants every one of those guys to play well. They have a standard to meet, whether you're a 1, 2, or 3, or a black, red, white, however they categorize it. You've got a standard to meet. I understand that. Here's the thing, though. I can, as not a coach or player, I can sit here and say, hey, it's probably not the end of the world if the third stringers don't match what the first and second stringers did.
Yep.
And I will say, I saw very little drop-off between first and second string.
I agree.
The last 2 weeks, very little drop-off.
Yep.
And listen, there's some guys on that third team, which I think they call the white. I think there's some guys on the white team that I thought didn't have much of a drop-off either.
Yep.
Now it was less consistent position by position, right? I'll acknowledge that. But there are places on that third team that I thought were right there. I mean, offensive and defensive line is one of those. Like, there's places like Gabe Moore looks like he could start. He does.
Yep.
He looks like he could start.
Any of the receivers at any level look like that they could be difference makers.
You're telling me like Cortez Mills could start?
Yeah.
You're telling me you don't think Quinn Clark could start?
I'm pretty sure at some point Houston Christian started tapping their helmets and they were like, can he play all-time offense?
Yeah.
Can we get Quinn Clark over here, please?
Yeah, it's like, can we like have some sort of situation here? Like, or make him play both ways when he's a little tired? Like,
can we just have Latif on this side for a half?
It's like soccer. You can do little transfer loans.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Can we just loan him for a half? We're pretty tired over here. Like, I've actually been really, really impressed with the lack of drop-off from 1s to 2s and even 2s to 3s. Again, less consistent amongst the 3s with the level of play. But there's a bunch of guys on 3s that look like they could be 2s and maybe even 1s. That's not something that has happened at Nebraska for a very long time.
Yeah.
The depth on this team is coming. It is on the way, and it's a lot closer than we think. And let's be honest, if everything goes right, those guys aren't going to have to play against Michigan. That's the point. 1s and 2s got to be on point, right?
Yep.
If everything goes well and you don't have, knock on wood, horrible injuries or anything, the 3s probably don't have to be ready for Michigan.
Yep.
Now, that's me as a commentator and a fan saying that. I know the coaches aren't saying that. I know the players don't think that way. But if you're just taking a 30,000-foot view and you go, hey, if I have to ride out my 3s against Michigan, something went wrong.
Yep.
Right?
Well, and here's my other part of it, too, that if you have concern with what you saw from depth pieces today, namely pretty much the entire second half, whether it's offense, defense, special teams, no matter what you think might have been happening, I'll tell you this. I actually think, like we mentioned earlier about the relationship between the staffs and such, any discrepancies you thought may have come from depth pieces, I think it's because it was not even extremely vanilla. It was plain Greek yogurt type of schemes out there in the second half. They ran the ball with Jalen Gramstad and the third string and fourth string running backs, the same type of gap run play right at the middle heart of the defense on first, second, third, and fourth and goal.
Yeah,
just because
4 plays in a row.
They just kind of kept it as generic as possible because, one, you don't want to give anything to your opponent next week, and two, because there's no reason we got to get really crazy with what we're doing out here.
Also, let's be honest. If Nebraska wanted to go up 66-0, they would have left TJ Latif in there, done a little naked boot like he's done a couple times, and he would have scored. Like, is there any doubt in your mind they could have scored there if they really wanted to?
Yep.
There's no reason you have to take TJ Latif out there. None whatsoever.
We have a question from chat. MD says, run defense first team. Did that look impressive to you? You were in the stadium. Did that look impressive to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think they had 0 rush yards in the first half, so yeah, it did. 0.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 0 late in the first. I don't know what the final first half number was, but the last time I looked up at the scoreboard in the first half, they had 0 yards rushing, which was an improvement because it was at -1, and then they got a 1 yard run.
How dare they?
I know. It was very upsetting. And then I believe at that point they had like 24 yards passing. So, yeah, if you hold a team to under 50 yards of total offense and a half, I'm going to feel fine. I think it ended up being like 245 to 45 in the first half for yardage the last time I looked. And I don't think any of those were rushing yards.
Yep.
I could be mistaken, but yes. To answer the question, the run defense looked good to me in the first half. All the defense looked good to me in the first half. The touchdown run is the only one where you're like, hey, after Jalen George misses that tackle, which you don't want him to miss, you would love there to be a couple other guys there to get him down to the ground before he busts off a 45-yard run.
Yep.
That didn't happen. That also was not the starters.
Yep.
So that was the question.
It was the same thing I said last week against Akron. it was one of the first times, and actually this is the first time I'll say it in this reference, in back-to-back games that I've seen Nebraska's defense go completely flying towards the ball on a solo mission to tackle ball carriers. There wasn't any hesitancy, it felt like, on either side, whether it was defensively first team, defensively second team, or beyond, that it felt like everyone either A, knew their assignments, or B, was just told, if you're going to be wrong fast and just get after the ball. That's what led to a lot of the big TFLs. That's what led to a lot of the bigger splash plays. Guys were in position because they were playing fast, and they kind of had an either opportunity to know where they were going, or they just played out of their mind and were just sprinting towards wherever they thought they needed to be. And more often than not today, it looked like they were in the right spot. I mean, if you look at final defensive, I guess, the yards allowed by Nebraska, Weir for Houston Christian finished 11 of 18, 67 passing yards. And rushing-wise, Edwards, the starting running back, had 13 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown. You take away 45 of those, we're talking about a guy who had
12 carries for 37 yards?
Yeah.
3 yards a carry?
Yeah.
And again, the 45-yarder was against...
That's really good math on your part.
Not the start. Quick math, baby.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Miller North education.
Yeah, that's about all I can brag about from Miller North right now.
But how about this? If you finish the day with all of Houston Christian's rushing stats, 35 total attempts, 93 total rushing yards, and they have the one touchdown and the longest run being 45. So if you take away,
what is that, like 2.6 per carry?
Yeah. 2.7. Jeez, how did you do that? Are you a human calculator? But again, if you
take away the 45-yarder, and it's like 1.3 per carry, basically?
It would be 30. Well, it still would have been 30. Let's just say George, out of the complete hypotheticals, George makes that tackle for loss, right? And then there's no touchdown on the board. So it's a 59-0 game. Nebraska then only allows 50 or 48 yards of rushing
on 34 attempts.
It'd still be 35. But yes, it would have been 35 for 48.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good. That would have been just under 100 total rushing yards. But of course, we don't play in hypotheticals. We played what happened on the field, and that's what happened. So Nebraska gave up a touchdown. But again, it's the same conversation I've had since Cincinnati. Every single time Nebraska gets on the field, I only see improvement. And not only that, but they still weren't perfect today. We still have talked about some missed opportunities. We've still talked about some extra pieces that they would like to be a part of this roster and a part of this team moving forward that have room for improvement.
Also, in what world is 2.6 a carry like in what world is that not good rushing defense?
No world.
Like 2.6, 2.7 a carry. There is no scenario in which that is a disappointing effort.
There's no offensive coordinator right now in their right mind that would just go 2.7 a game. I'll take that. That's mine.
Absolutely not. So, I think sometimes we do this thing, and I understand it, right? In the moment as you're watching the game, you see somebody bust off a little bit of a run, or you see the 45-yard touchdown, and you think, oh man, bad rush defense.
Yep.
It's like that was a bad play. Overall, very good rush defense. Very good passing. What were their final passing yards? You said 68 for Weir. Did they bring in a backup? Did Houston Christian bring up a backup?
Backup quarterback? No.
Okay.
No, or at least he didn't throw the ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't think so. I was just trying to remember because we got out here at the Railyard. Things got a little kooky.
Yes.
At the very end of the game here. So 68 total yards passing. 93, you said?
Yep.
Yards rushing.
Yep.
So we're talking about 171 total yards of offense?
Yep.
So Nebraska, in 3 games, has yet to give up 300 yards of total offense, less than 200 against the 2 non-power conference opponents they've had. Like, I don't know what we're talking about here. Less, like 2.7 a carry on 35 attempts. It was pretty clear to me that Houston Christian was just trying to get out of town.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if people were paying attention to, like, the play clock early.
They were running it to 5, 4, like they were getting all the way out of there.
Under 10 at every single snap.
Yep.
And I'm watching them. They're literally just staring at each other in the huddle.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything.
Yep.
They're just waiting.
That's what they had to take some timeouts there in the first, too, because they were late getting there, and they saw an adjustment and couldn't do it because they were out of time.
Yeah, so, like, that was the game plan. Run the ball, try and keep this thing under 90, and get out of town without anybody getting hurt so you can move on to the rest of your season. And Nebraska still put up 59 on them. Very easily could have been 66. And I don't have a problem with how this game played out whatsoever. Like, I don't know how you can watch that and back it up with the statistics and say, hey, that wasn't a good defensive performance.
Yeah. MD in chat is saying we're very excited. We got to slow down and think about it a bit because HCU and Akron are different from Cincinnati. We're not making We're not arguing with you about that.
No.
Here's the other argument that I would give you is that Nebraska played to the level of the competition that they have played so far. I would agree with that. Right? They have played above the level of competition.
Yes.
Sorry, I phrased that a little incorrectly.
I think Nebraska's level of competition has not impacted how they've played.
Yes.
They have played to their standard. And listen, Coach Rhule's going to tell you, hey, there are things we need to get better at. I'm not denying that. You don't want to give up the 45-yard touchdown. Just as much as Nebraska's win against HCU counts, the 45-yard touchdown counts for them too.
Yes.
I get that, right?
Yep.
You got to clean it up. Jalen George has got to make the tackle. You got to have guys rallying to the ball to make sure if he doesn't make the tackle, somebody else does. Totally agree, totally understand with that, right? In general, Nebraska's played to their standard, not to their competition.
Yep.
That's all you can ask for. They have played and beaten the teams in front of them. They have defensively kind of dominated the teams in front of them. Like, I know we're saying, hey, take this out, but Coach Butler talked about it. If Brendan Sorsby doesn't go high school quarterback on them and just say, hey, these plays are broken, and go for 90 yards in the last few drives, we're also talking about, under 3 yards to carry for Cincinnati that game too.
Yep.
This defense has performed incredibly well. The offense, I think, has executed at a super high level. Now, can they do that again against Michigan?
Yep.
I understand that's the question. But the answers we have so far are yes.
Yep.
Can they execute at a high level against Cincinnati? Yes. Can they execute at a high level against Akron? Yes. Can they execute at a high level against Houston Christian? Yes. Those are three pretty different opponents.
Yep.
And they've executed at a high level against all three of them. Now, Michigan is a different opponent again in terms of quality and level. I get that.
Yep.
They're also going to be playing without their head coach.
Yep.
And they're going to be playing with the true freshman quarterback.
Yep.
And guess what? Let's say Nebraska puts it on Michigan. Let's live in a fantasy world, right?
I'm all about living in fantasy.
It's my favorite thing to do. I'm so far detached from reality, it's not even funny. But, let's say Nebraska goes and puts it on Michigan a little bit next week, right? What are the excuses going to be? Well, this isn't that same Michigan.
Yeah.
Because we're going to hear the same thing, right? Some people aren't going to be happy until Nebraska goes 12-0, wins the national championship, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine. If that's your standard, that's fine. That's not my standard. My standard right now is how have they played to their standard against different opponents.
Yeah.
And they've checked the boxes off every single time. And guess what? They checked another box. Alternate uniform win.
Oh, the All Reds.
Uniform win.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. Let me give you a top 25 rundown of games that have went by, and then we got to get to All Reds here in a bit.
Let's do it.
Okay, so do you want to play a quick game we played last week called "If Nebraska Had This Score, How Would You Feel?"
Yep.
All right. So number 22, Indiana dominated Indiana State 73-0 yesterday. How would you feel if Nebraska did that today? You
I'd
feel
be fine.
about the same, right?
Yeah.
About the same. Number 19, Alabama won 38-14 over Wisconsin. That game obviously a little bit different. Conference or Power 4 foe, a little bit change there. We mentioned Georgia Tech beat Clemson 24-21. Oklahoma took care of Temple 42-3. Oregon handled Northwestern 34-14.
Hold on.
Yes.
If Nebraska beats Northwestern 34-14, how do you think Nebraska fans feel?
They'd be freaking out right now. People would be in the streets rioting.
Not great, right?
They would be very frustrated.
Do you think Oregon cares?
No.
I mean,
their standard is their standard.
I think Oregon might say, hey, we didn't play as well as we're capable of.
Yes.
I think they might have been not real locked in for Northwestern. That's fair. But I think, if Nebraska switched places with Oregon in general, Nebraska fans would be thrilled.
Yep.
Just keep that in mind when you look at that score against Northwestern, a team that Nebraska plays in about a month and a half.
Now, of course, everyone's going to point towards, okay, what did Michigan do? What did Nebraska do? Michigan beat a group of 5 opponents 63-3. It's almost as if Nebraska did that to a group of 4 opponents last week. But
68-0. Okay, so
teach their own, I suppose. And if you were the number 24 team in the country and you won 31-15 over South Alabama, are you rioting in the streets as well?
Wouldn't feel great.
Yeah.
Wouldn't feel great.
That'd be Hugh Freeze's Auburn that did that earlier today.
Would not feel great.
Yeah.
So you feel better at 59-7 or 31-15?
I feel pretty good about 59-7.
Yeah, I feel good about
52-point victory seems pretty good, especially when you have it secured at half.
Yeah, especially
beyond secured.
When you literally don't play your starting quarterback for the entire second half.
Would have liked to see Dylan try to grab a hot dog in the middle of the game. That would have been cool.
So at one point, Kenny went down to the Bear Wiener Slinger.
Nice.
And
was he slinging that Wiener?
He was slinging that Wiener.
Oh.
He was getting that.
I've got terrible jokes in my head.
Don't do it.
You know what I want to say. You know what I want to say.
Don't you do it.
Sorry, Kenny. I hope your mom's not watching. My bad.
Lovely woman, by the way. Lovely woman. She was so kind. Everybody in Kenny's family was. Is still. They're alive.
Okay, so Kenny was slinging the Wiener.
Yeah, so he was down by their Wiener slinger, and they were struggling with launching a little bit.
Oh, yes.
Right? And so
it's all about angles.
Yeah, it's all about the angles. And they had a hard time reaching the section that we were sitting in. And so Kenny went down. He's like, hey, guys, we got to adjust this angle a little bit. We got to get my boy some dogs.
It's all about physics.
Yeah, it's all about the physics. Yeah. You got to get it up. So they were able to get the Der Wiener Slinger angled properly.
Perfect.
To make sure that everybody was getting that Wiener in the areas that we were in. And it was a great time. Must had by all.
I'm really glad that everybody got the Wiener from Kenny. That's very good. I'm really glad that he was able to figure that out, especially the right angle and all.
It was important. It's important to do. It really is.
We've got to move on. Sorry. My mom's going to watch this. I got to be very careful. She's going to be horrified.
We got to be careful here. By what?
We got to be careful about how good Nebraska's looking in alternate uniforms. That's the big issue. Because can I be completely frank and honest?
Let's do it.
Do you want? Maybe you should start. You should start. You please start first because I think I have thoughts that you're going to have to walk me back on.
So number one, I think the All Reds looked good. I like it. Okay. I think it's a good look. Number two, it's the first time they'd worn them. I think they said since 86.
86 on the All Reds, 2014 since alternate Reds.
Yes. That was a loss in 86 to Oklahoma.
Ooh.
2017. So we can put to bed the alternate uniform curse, right? They have gotten a win in an alternate uniform, so you don't have to worry about it when they play USC. The curse is broken.
Yep.
Right? Had nothing to do with opponents or anything. It was just the uniforms, I'm sure.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
As we found out today. Wait a second. No, they won today.
That's exactly right.
So, yes, I'm just happy that – and listen, I'm positive at this point that Coach Rule is sort of trolling us a little bit.
What do you mean?
Like with the alternate uniforms, because he's talked about this. He's like, hey, yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with uniforms. It's that Nebraska breaks out the uniforms against the best teams they play every year.
Yep.
And that's going to be harder to win. So I think he was trolling us a little bit, breaking out the All Reds for Houston Christian. And guess what? They won. There was no tragedies were had today.
Yep.
It was good to go.
Yep.
What are your thoughts that you think might be a little controversial?
The All Reds didn't hit for me.
You didn't like the look?
I didn't like the look. Not my favorite. I don't know. Maybe it's just my bias against the red-on-red crimes that I see. But, hey, if it's good with the kids, it's good with the team, and it gets people excited on the team to play well, I'm all for it. Because, that is another part of this. And I'm not saying Nebraska had any issue in getting up for Houston Christian. But if you give your team a reason to get a little bit more excited for a game that maybe they're going to come out a little lackadaisical for, maybe this is the push that they needed to stay as focused as possible because they didn't want to hear that, alternate uniform curse one more time. Whatever it takes, perfectly fine with whatever the method is. The uniforms themselves, to me, not my favorite.
Listen, do I like them as much as an all black? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Do I like them as much as an all white? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I still think they look good, right? Do they even look better than their traditional uniforms? Maybe not.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd rather have seen traditional, but yeah.
But I think it's a good look. I didn't think it was. Listen.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes I go and I'll get ice cream or I'll get like a soda or whatever. I'll do something different, right?
Yeah.
I've got to try something new just to see.
Yeah.
But if I don't like it, doesn't mean I have to go back. Nebraska's never got to go back to All Red.
No.
We've done it once. We've seen it. We'll in 2065, we're going to see it one more time. Who knows?
You think one more time in 2065?
2065.
Put it on the calendar.
It'll be Matt Rule Memorial Day that day.
Here, I'm gonna speak a little bit of truth to you guys right now. I'm looking in the camera. I had to put the glasses up so you can see me in the eyes. I'm serious. Nebraska's had some very ugly alternate uniforms.
Very true.
Very ugly.
Our boy Kenny kind of got hurt by a couple of those.
Yeah, a couple like the metallic number-looking ones.
Yeah,
horrifying.
Not great.
A couple of them against Wisconsin were very, very bad.
First ones against All Reds against Wisconsin were bad.
Horrifying.
Yes.
The ones with just the giant N.
Yep.
Really
not
bad.
Leatherheads. Not great.
They've had some very, very bad uniforms, folks. This is not one of them. This was fine. Doesn't have listen. They're not all hundreds. They're not all A+. Right? They're not all 10 out of 10s.
Yeah.
This is like a 7.
Listen, there's still plenty of kids out here that are, probably not studying for classes. Sometimes you get a C and you move on, right?
Listen, C's get degrees.
They do.
Alternate uniform, so you get a dub. Doesn't matter, right? We're good to go. This was not an ugly alternate by any means. I don't think. No, it wasn't ugly. Was it their A game? No. That's coming for USC, where they're going with those super sharp all blacks.
Halloween, baby.
Like
Halloween.
Let's do it. Two things can be true at once. They can be not the best uniform look you've ever seen and still not be terrible.
Yep.
They're fine.
I can agree with that.
It was fine. It was a solid B uniform.
Yep.
And a solid, I think, A win.
Yep.
That's all there is to it. I'll take the win over the uniform any day of the week.
Yep. And listen, just like you guys talked about earlier, I think it was Friday, Nebraska's ability to knock out narratives as much as they possibly can this season, it's like they are hell-bent on this season being the one that says, we don't care what has been said before, what has been done in the past, or what any narrative has been. Anything you want to write online about us, we're just going to prove differently. This game didn't necessarily do that in any circumstance that happened on the field, but they wrote one to bed that was they can't win in this uniform, or they can't do this. Now, of course, when they get the all-white uniform out, that'll be a little bit different. I'm not going to call them by their SW name because that would be bad.
We don't believe it.
We don't believe in them.
We don't believe it.
And you know what? As tongue-in-cheek as we're making this little segment of the show, it is true because there's a part of that locker room that probably feels the need, and as we saw from Matt Rule's fiery halftime speech from last week, he knows that this narrative maybe isn't true and maybe the players don't believe that sort of stuff. But if you make it a narrative of motivation, anything is possible, right?
Yeah.
Because if the guys get motivated, like we talked about, if the guys were told on Monday or whatever day of the year, if they were told in mid-July or whatever that, hey, we know we're wearing alternate reds for the Houston Christian game. Do you know our record against alternate uniforms? Do you know how bad people see it? And they're putting up tweets, and then they see all these, Husker aggregate accounts that are putting everything up. It can turn into motivation because of whatever your belief in the team is. So if Matt Rule is putting these on the message boards being like, your own fan base in certain sects are saying, hey, you guys can't win in any type of uniform. And as Damon said it earlier this week, they want to play in pajamas by the time they get to November because then they believe that they can beat anybody.
Because it won't matter, right?
Exactly.
Break out the Travis Hunter onesies. Do whatever you need to do. Like, break out an all-corn uniform. Do the overall uniforms I've seen people make on AI. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Uniform doesn't matter. Now, listen, those would be part of the ugly uniforms we talked about earlier, but it shouldn't matter. I want them to look cool. I want them to look good. I'm super excited about the all-black uniforms coming against USC. But at the end of the day, show me how you play. I'll figure it out. GBR, buddy. We'll figure it out with the uniforms later. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
We'll figure it out.
Yep.
Figure the football out first.
And I think they figured it out. I think they're good.
I think they have figured the football out.
So, what else? I mean, honestly, this was a game that the fans, I think, we're all kind of checked. Every tailgate that I walked by, I came over the pedestrian bridge. I was hanging north of PBA over by Hockey Haymarket down there. I was in the Railyard. We were hanging out. We were checking everything out. It felt like everyone kind of agreed where the game was going. What else is there to either to say or to prepare for? I mean, I know we got another week of Hurrdat Sports Live coming up on Monday morning, bright and early, but it's finally here. And how about this, too? I'll lay it to bed like this, all right? There were a couple years in the Scofro era where it was, well, if Nebraska is this record or is this whatever presentation by the time that they get to this key game, watch out, because Nebraska could be on their way back. Nebraska did the damn thing over the past 3 games, did they not?
100%.
Everyone said if you're 3-0 going into the Michigan game, it's one of the biggest games of not only the season, it's the game of the week, it's college game day, it's big noon kickoff, it's everything, right?
100%.
And Nebraska's done it. And
Nebraska held up their end of the bargain.
They did. And Michigan, they've fallen in a top 25 game, yes. But Nebraska, here in this moment, from what we can see, from what we can tell from this program, they've finally got it. They did it. They didn't slip up. They didn't allow a game to get away from them. They didn't have any tribulations come up in 2 FCS and MAC opponents. No, they took care of their business. They won their season opener. I think it's time for the final boogeyman to get out of the closet and to just beat the living hell out of it when they come to September 20th.
Go beat the ranked team.
Yep.
That's the next one.
That's the next one.
Go beat the ranked team, right? Because that's one of the other boogeymen that we're talking about.
Yep.
DB and I were making a list this week, right?
What if they do it in overtime, too?
Alternate uniforms.
To beat up 2 boogeymen in one day.
Listen, I'm just going to tell you, they're not going to need overtime. I'm just going to tell you, they're not going to need overtime.
I've been with you all summer. I know how you feel. I know you know how I feel about Michigan.
They're not going to need overtime against Michigan.
I'm with you.
Listen, I don't need all week to think about it. I'll keep thinking about it all week because that's my job. Kind of. I don't need all week to think about it. Michigan versus Nebraska is a 2-score win for Nebraska.
Wow.
I'm putting that down right now. Michigan will lose to Nebraska. Nebraska will beat Michigan by at least 2 scores.
Yeah.
That means 9 points or more. No, that's not. 11 points or more.
Bang, 2 scores.
11 points or more. They will beat Michigan by 11 points or more. I'm putting that down. Nebraska is good. Listen, Michigan's a solid team.
Yeah.
They're dealing with a true freshman quarterback. They are dealing with not having their head coach and a guy named Biff leaving them out of the tunnel this next week.
Respectfully.
All right. All respect to former Charlotte great head coach Biff Poggi. Is it Poggi or Poggi? Do we know? Does anyone know?
I think it's Poggi, actually.
Poggi.
Yeah, I believe so.
Stick with Poggi.
Okay. It's more fun that way.
Yeah, it's a little more playful. If you're going to go with a name like Biff, you can't take your last name too seriously, all right? You just can't.
Fair.
They're going to have a guy named Biff leading them on Saturday. They've got a true freshman quarterback, and I honestly just think Nebraska is 2 scores better than Michigan. I know that's hard for people to wrap their minds around right now. But if I believe what I said in the offseason, this is a 10-2 football team, which I still believe, then a 10-2 football team at home is 11 or more points better than Michigan. Mark it down.
Okay.
Mark it down.
I'm all for it. Hey, listen.
Is it marked? Mark it down. Get those TikTok fingers going.
Yep. We're in. I like it. I dig it.
How are you feeling?
Listen, nothing about me and how I feel about Nebraska nor Michigan has changed coming in because I believe what I've seen from Michigan, they may be a top 25 team. I still think Nebraska is also a top 25 team. They can be disrespected. They can be disregarded. They can be ignored in every which way possible. But when all roads meet in one place next week, there's only one result that I foresee coming, and I've seen it all the way back and since May and April and June, July, August. We've been talking about it the whole time. We can deal with everything else that has come before, and we'll deal with everything that comes after. But that Week 4 matchup, I've only been focused on for one reason, because I believe that Nebraska was going to get to this moment where they are right now at 3-0. I didn't know where Michigan was. I didn't care because I only worried about where Nebraska was. Mm-hmm. Nebraska has marked this on their calendar in the biggest red circle possible. And they have been prepared and ready for the moment, and they know that this is the moment that the program can officially flip its complete national narrative. And what have they done except flip every single local and internal narrative through 3 weeks so far? They've won close games. They've blown out bad opponents. They've taken care of business. It's time to flip the turtle back on its shell and send it back to Ann Arbor. I believe confidently that Nebraska will be able to take down Michigan. I'm not as confident in the 11 points because who knows how games go. But I'm with you that I think Nebraska, because of what they are, because of what they have done, solely because of Nebraska, they're ready for the moment. They are ready for next Saturday.
I mean, maybe I'm just feeling myself because I got the margin of victory within a point today.
Nice.
So maybe I'm just feeling myself a little bit.
It's fair.
But I think this is what happens next week. I think Nebraska wins by 2 scores. I think they go out. I think they flip the national narrative like you're talking about.
Yep.
I think by 7 days and 3 hours from now, the national media will be talking about Dylan Raiola the way they were talking about DJ Lagway and Arch Manning coming into the season. I think they'll be talking about Matt Rule year 3. I think they'll be talking about Nebraska as a ranked team and maybe a dark horse for the college football playoff. I think all of those things happen 7 days and 3 hours from now because they're going to beat Nebraska, or Nebraska's going to beat Michigan.
There you go.
They're going to do it convincingly, and people are going to turn and ask themselves, is Nebraska back? And I tell you resoundingly, that answer is yes.
I agree. I don't think there's anything left to say. We had a great time down in the Railyard.
Yeah, we love these guys for having us. Shout out to KX 96.9, our friends out here, and everybody that's been out here trying to support us, allowing us to bring our Kenny Bell merch down here, our game day merch, allowing us to set up our show from down here as well. Salt of the earth people down here at the Railyard. Really accommodating to us. They've been so kind. We've loved our time down here. And it looks like
2 other big thank yous. One to Chris Gorman for helping us get everything set up. Another to Rico. Been out here since 7:30 this morning. He was helping cover volleyball late last night. He was on, boots on the ground, ready to get down here and having a good time. Thankful for both those guys. Thankful for all of our sports team.
Absolutely.
Mighty thankful for one Kenny Bell. We're looking forward to hanging out with him a little bit longer.
It looks like the party's just getting started here at the Railyard. So if you haven't yet, come on down and celebrate another Nebraska win, a 3-0 start, and a march towards Michigan.
That's right. We'll see you again for another Hail Varsity postgame next week following the Michigan game. Win, lose, or draw, whatever the case is, we'll be back again next week. So make sure you're checking out all Hail Varsity YouTube, Hurrdat Sports YouTube, and all the other channels to make sure that you're getting everything that you need from today's game. And check out Hurrdat Sports Live bright and early tomorrow morning, or Monday morning.
Monday morning. I'm not doing it tomorrow.
We do take some Sundays off. We'll have plenty of other coverage, including Nebraska volleyball, high school sports, and the sort. And one last shout out. Big shout out to you, Dr. Girlfriend. Big birthday today.
Happy birthday, Katie.
Happy birthday, Katie. All right, we'll see you again for another Hail Varsity.